Good morning. Today is all about writing. So, we're going to talk a little bit about word goals because I want you to have this in your minds as you're working on your big task for today. And I want today's task to kind of be fun because this is where the dreaming begins. Okay. The dreaming starts, but we're dreamers that do. So, we're dreamers that make things happen. So, we're going to sit back and we're going to set up some goals. And then tomorrow, we'll be working on publishing plans. All right. So, here we go. Now, it is important to have word goals. There's a reason for this. If you have word goals, it makes it easier for you to meet deadlines. You are creating a routine that's beneficial for you and your readers. We're going to work on training our readers this year. All right. And I'll get more into that in the publishing and the marketing part. But I want you to understand that we're training our readers and we're training ourselves. And all of this is going to come together to help you grow. And nothing happens without a goal. Okay. You got to have goals. To be a successful author, you have to have structure. So some people think of this as like, oh, you got to have your butt in the chair and get the words down. I am going to argue a little later on that you don't necessarily have to have your butt in a chair. There's different ways to do this, but you definitely do have to have a support team. And that looks a lot of different ways. Sometimes it means a PA, sometimes it means beta readers. It definitely means an editor and a cover designer and all these people who come together to help you put your product together, which is your book. And you must have books to market. That's what being a successful author is. You have to have books, okay? Now, we're going to look at some examples of why word goals work because I know that for some people the biggest part of being an author is developing that writing habit. So, this is why word goals work. Suppose that you know you're going to write 2,000 words a day every day all month long. 2,000 words times 30 is 60,000 words a month. Or which is roughly a novel, right? For most people, that's a novel, or it's two novellas. Or if you're going to write maybe say 2,000 words 5 days a week because you know that weekends are for family, or weekends are for errands, or weekends are for whatever you do with your weekends, or travel. Oh my goodness. Do you remember when we used to travel? Travel was good. Okay. So 2,000 words 5 days a week, that's roughly 40,000 words a month. And, there's all kinds of fun things that you can do with these word counts. So we're going to do some more math. What if you write, because some of us have crazy busy lives, all of a sudden, I can only speak from personal experience, but March 13th was a fateful day. I should have known it was coming on March 13th. Um, so March 13th, I went from having, oh man, was this a cushy life? I would get up in the morning, I would put on some workout clothes, I would get kind of ready for school, I would take her to school and drop her off, and then I would go exercise. I would come home, take my shower, eat my breakfast, and then I would work. I had like basically 4 or 5 uninterrupted hours before I had to go pick her up in the afternoon, right? Those were good times, people. Those were really good times. And so even, having appointments with authors throughout the day, I hardly ever worked a night, except on my stuff that I wanted to work on. Now things look a lot different. So this, it's now getting the words down has been more of a struggle because I had to develop new routines. So word count became something different. Instead of being wildly ambitious, it became things like, wow, what if I could get 1,000 words a day? Because 1,000 words a day is better than nothing, right? And 1,000 words a day is 30,000 words in a month. Now, look at it this way, because some of you go, well, if I can't hit a certain goal, then like, what's the point? Well, 30,000 words in a month, that's a novella every month, or a novel every other month. That's 12 novellas a year, or 6 novels a year. Okay. Think about your backlist growing while you're doing things like this. Now it doesn't seem so weak, does it? It doesn't seem like it's, oh my goodness, that's nothing. What the heck was I thinking? Um, don't so we're going to play with word count. We're going to play with lots of different ways that you can do this because this year is about setting reasonable goals instead of setting yourself up for frustration and failure. All right. So I'm going to show you some different ways to do all this. So here we go. Even more math. What if you write 3,000 words 5 days a week? That's 15,000 words a week, or 60,000 words a month. Like, holy cow. And that's only working, say, Monday through Friday. So that's 2 novellas every month or a novel every month. That's 24 novellas a year or 12 novels a year. Now, again, remember, we're not killing ourselves here. I'm just giving different number ideas. I don't want anybody burning out. That's not the way that we're doing this. Okay? We're not pushing each other towards burnout anymore. We're just playing with some numbers. All right? And I know that this can be really, really scary because when you look at it, you're like, 3,000 words in, a day? How in the world am I going to do this? So there's different ways to get the words. Yes, sometimes it does mean that you're sitting down in front of a computer, you're tapping away, you're working on developing carpal tunnel, your hands are swelling up and, all these things. Some people can do this very, very successfully. They write very quickly and it does not bother them a bit. Other people need to find other ways to get the words. I was one of those. When I was writing a lot, and I'm talking like, yes, 60,000 words a month and everything, and doing it all by hand, I was noticing that I was developing carpal tunnel. My wrists were killing me. My fingers would swell up every night, and not just because of the salty food I love so much. And so I was hearing about dictation, and it terrified me because I thought, there's no way that something about the way it travels from the head to the mouth feels different from the way it travels to the head to the hands. Like it has an opportunity to get more eloquent and awesome on the way to my hands, right? So I played with it. I tried it a few times. I stopped and started, and then I found my rhythm and discovered that I actually really enjoy dictation. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, when you're doing dictation, um, you're not stuck at a computer, which if you're like me, it can be hard sometimes to get all the time at the computer. But I can put on my headset. So this is the headset that I use. It's nothing fancy. I seriously bought it on Amazon for like 19 bucks, and I will drop a link in the comments for you in case you're curious. The new iPhones, so then I got a newer iPhone and I needed to get the adapter for it. But again, this came off of Amazon, and it it's fantastic and I wouldn't have it any other way now. Um, because even in my leggings, like I buy the leggings with the pockets, because I'm fancy. And so I'll put the phone in my pocket and then my hands are free and I'm talking into the phone while I'm dusting the house or I'm talking, like into my headset while I'm sweeping or while I am folding laundry. And then next thing you know, I'm like multitasking, which how many of us love multitasking because there is so much to do in our life. There really, really is. So I find ways to try to get the words while making sure I'm accomplishing other things. And there's way less guilt and more joy in the process. So the bulk of my words, dictation, using a headset, and I use the Dragon Anywhere app on my phone. Yes, there is a fee for this. I tried doing Google, and yes, you can dictate directly into Google Docs. The problem is that it only lasts like you have to restart it, I think about every minute. And that was kind of a pain because I would be talking and I would get into the flow. And then all of a sudden, it would shut off on me. And I'd be like, "Brah," and I'd have to like start the thing over again so I could go some more. My recommendation is to, if you can, find an app that you can afford that will just keep talking as long as you keep talking, which is what you need, because you don't want to get in the flow, forget all your words because it changes up on you. So the Dragon Anywhere app is 14.99 a month. You can start it and stop it at any time. And look at it this way: if you sell your books for 3.99, that's less than 5 books a month you have to sell to pay for the app. Okay. If you sell your books for 2.99, then it's like what? 3. Still it's 3. So it's like 5. It's like 5 books. Like 4 or 5 books you have to sell to pay for this app a month, okay? Now, let me explain my system because a lot of people were like, I have no idea how to do this. What would I do? So, this is how I do it. I plan my writing. I basically have an outline for what goes into the chapter. I always used to be a pantser, and don't get me wrong, as I'm talking, I can still change things up, and that's fine. I'm not married to my outline. My outline, it's like a map for how I'm getting from point A to point B. But that doesn't mean that if I'm driving along, on my way to someplace awesome, that if I see a farmer's market or something fun to do on the side of the road, that I don't stop and, visit there, right? It's not, it's not law. It's just, this is kind of my my guide for how to get from point A to point B. And so I absolutely encourage having an outline, even if you don't follow it to the to the T, okay? Plan the writing. Then I speak the story during the sprints, okay? And then I email each sprint to my inbox. So I create a new doc for each sprint, and I usually name it, like, if I know what chapter it's going to be, it'll be chapter 1 or chapter 1.2, because, like, if it's the second part of the first chapter, or if it's 1.3 because it's the third part of it depends on how long my chapters are, So that's how I do it. It gets emailed to my inbox. I copy it onto a Google Doc. Of course, I record my word count so that I can see how well I'm doing. I get a sense of where I'm struggling. And then if I do 3 or more sprints a day, and usually my goal is 15 minutes, my goal is 20 minutes. Usually I find that after about 15-ish, 15 to 17, I kind of need a little bit of a break, or I'm changing what I'm doing. And so therefore I stop, but I do about 3 15-minute sprints to hit my word goal of, say, 2,500 words. If I'm saying 2,500 words, it's about 3 15-minute sprints. So, in other words, you could technically be done all your writing for the day in an hour of sprinting, of, like, that kind of thing. Now, then before I start the dictation the next day, I go to the doc, I go to the Google Doc, I clean it up, and I fill it out, because the thing about dictation is that, like I said, it does seem to lose some of the eloquence, some of the details a lot of times in the way, in the trip from, my head. See, because, like, the head to my mouth is much shorter, right? Because, like, it's all right here, but it gets prettier on its way to my hands. So I clean it up and fill it out, to put in what I want in there, and then that's also adding more words. All right. Now, my dictation numbers in 15 minutes, I get roughly 800 words. Okay. In 20 minutes, I get roughly 1,100 words. So think about these things. Do you commute? I used to drop kind of off, and then on my way home, I would start dictation on the drive back home. On the drive to the grocery store, I would dictate. Do you take a walk? Dictate while you walk. Do you get a coffee break at work? You can, dictate during your coffee break. Could you dictate while you're cleaning? So if you're struggling to get all the words down, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to have time, because the whole idea of you need to sit your butt in a chair is your concept of how writing happens, then potentially look at trying dictation. You will save your arms, you will save time, and you can still get a product that you're proud of by taking the time to, read through it and fill in any of the holes that you're discovering. All right, because I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, dictation is perfect and I don't have to do a thing after I dictate, and bam. It's like any other kind of writing where you still have to go through and make edits and, improve. So here's the thing. I'm not asking you, or even suggesting, that you make some ridiculously strenuous writing, like, release schedule, because we're going to go through the publishing tomorrow. What I am suggesting is that you look at what you think you're capable of accomplishing, and you create a manageable schedule in the course of that. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to work on creating a manageable schedule, because I don't want any of you setting yourselves up for failure. It is so, so easy to overcommit. I am the queen of overcommit. All right. So don't do that to yourselves. But what you do is you create a release schedule based on your realistic goals for writing that you're going to be setting today. Once you have this realistic schedule and you share it, your readers are going to know they can count on you if you keep, doing this. Now, what happens if, see, because the good thing is, if you set a realistic schedule, then you can actually work ahead. I know that there are a lot of people in our groups right now, in, like Love Kiss Coachables, people that I'm coaching, who are writing months and months ahead, because they're just sticking to a writing schedule. And so they don't get stressed anymore. When the rest of us are sitting there going, oh my God, I've got to get this to the editor by 5 o'clock on Friday. They're like, "Psh, I said, I've got that ready to go to the editor. I've been done with it for a month, blah, blah, blah. I literally have people who are right now writing their February release. It's amazing. It's awesome. And why did this happen? Because they stuck to a release schedule that was reasonable, that was manageable, and that didn't make them crazy word count wise. So once you do this and your readers know that every time you say you're going to release on a certain date, you release on a certain day and they can count on you and get their heart all excited, yeah, you're going to have more readers. You're also going to have more books to market because you've set reasonable goals, and all of this happens, and next thing you know, you're making more money, and most importantly, you are turning what was once a hobby into a career. All right? If there is anything that this year has taught us, it is the importance of having multiple streams of income, and being an author during a pandemic is probably the safest jobs that you can possibly have, that you could also potentially love. Now, um, so let's look at the math on potential income for these things. So if you have a 60,000 word book, um, and okay, so okay, one 60,000 word book each month at KU in KU priced at 299. I'd actually probably price it at 399 now. This was an older slide. I redid a presentation and added stuff into it, and I would go 399 now. But even at the lowest page read, it's usually 0.004. So that means a 60,000 word book is approximately 240 pages, which makes it 96 cents. At the 70% royalty rate, it's $2.10. And if you're doing a Kindle Countdown deal for 99 pennies, it would be worth uh 70 cents. Okay. So a freebie deal is actually worth more money than a Kindle Countdown deal. All right. And suppose you participate in one of the free promotions, you do some newsletter swaps, and you have 5,000 downloads, which is very, very, very reasonable. You have approximately $5,000 in book money out there waiting to be cashed in. So when you wonder sometimes, like, why am I doing this freebie? Well, because a lot of times it's easier to get 5,000 downloads than it is to get 5,000 sales, depending on how long you've been at this. All right. It's a great way to build your readership. So you just need some good covers, some solid blurbs, and use promotions. And next thing you know, the money starts trickling in. Now, if you do this every month, your income will continually grow, um, because your backlist grows. But I'm going to caution you, you have to promote your books. You have to promote your backlist. And that's why we're going to get into the marketing aspects on Thursday and the social media on Friday. This all, like I said, this all builds on it on each day. So stay with me. We're going to make this work. All right. Now, so when you do this every month, your income grows. Here's how. Have series. Have series. Hook them and keep reading. After reading Zoe York's book on romancing your plan, I would say even have like series 2.0, which, are series that are spin-off series, because if you hook them and then you keep hooking them, that's fantastic. Boxed sets. Never underestimate the importance of having a boxed set. They are worth so much money in KU. And most of all, your backlist will stay active. What's good about box sets? Well, it's a great way to ensure that readers enjoy the entire series. Once you hook them, they want to read everything that you've written. And so the money, money's a really good thing about box sets. Here's the math on a box set. Let's play with a trilogy. 60,000 words a book becomes roughly 720 pages. So at even 0.004, your box set is worth $2.88. Are readers more interested in getting a free book or a free box set? All right. This is an opportunity. Now, what if you could release 3 box sets a year? All right. And here's the fun thing. We're going to play with the publishing plan. Releasing a box set, if you're trying to go for a release a month, because some people do, especially people who have like kept a writing schedule going and have managed to write ahead. It is very easy for them to release a book a month. Okay. So what if when you release a box set, you're buying yourself more time to get other books written because it's still a release. And then, you're adding more time to your writing schedule to get new stuff done. So imagine the page reads, imagine the size of your team, meaning like this includes your street team, because all of this consistency matters, and that's what we're going to build this year. We're going to build consistency, and good habits, and find ways to maintain the writing habit without losing our minds. So imagine how many rabid readers you could find. And so when you think of it like this, when you start looking at being an author as a business, what's the first rule of having a job? You have to show up, okay? So when you start showing up for your author career and you start getting your words down and you have a release plan, like, a publishing plan, and a marketing schedule, and next thing you know, everything is simpler, and all of a sudden, what once seemed really, really hard gets much easier. So, the secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. So, we're going to work on building some really positive daily routines and manageable. I want it to be so, so manageable and so happy for you. All right. All right. I'm sorry. When you guys make comments, I can't see who it is, which drives me absolutely crazy. Let me see if I can pull it up in the group and see who's commenting and stuff. All right. See if I have anybody who needs a question answered. Nope. Come on, refresh. Huh? There. Okay, here I am. All right. So, no, Patricia Mason, the answer would be the box set of your own books. So, if, for example, you write, um, books 1, 2, and 3 in um, January, February, or you publish books 1, 2, and 3 in January, February, and March, and it's a trilogy, then you could release the box set, for example, potentially over the summer when you might not have other new releases, because a lot of people don't like to do a lot of releasing over the summer because isn't necessarily as um, because parents tend to be busy on the summer. They have a lot of things going on, and so well, in the past used to be travel and things, so there wasn't a lot necessarily as much reading time. Kids were home. Now, right now, I don't know what you get paid when you have a freebie, and you're getting page reads. It's 0.004 is kind of the baseline. That's that I go by. They it It moves slightly, but it usually does not go below 0.004, all right? Um, thank you, Monica, I heart your face too. And, yes, Katrina Marie, the fee with Dragon is totally worth it. Katrina is another person who gets those words down. She's amazing. And so basically what I'm trying to do I saw this Patricia Mason, "Well, I'm only a day behind, so I actually feel like I'm ahead. Woohoo!" That's hey, I mean, only being a day behind is a fantastic goal right now. That's all I'm saying. So, what I would encourage you to do is today, this is your assignment, all right? Today, your assignment is to look at remember all the time that you made and the time that you blocked out yesterday? So, I want you to take a look at all of that today, and I want you to figure out where how many words can you get down? And see, it's November right now. All right. It's November. So you have plenty of time to play with some of this. You can try out dictation over the next, few weeks, over the next month or so. You can play with dictation and see how many words can I speak out in 15 minutes? How many words can I speak out in 20 minutes? Which sprint feels better to me? Okay. How many sprints a day would it take me to hit a word count goal? And, I really think, see, because seriously, over the weekend, I was so behind. I was so behind on Nano, and I'm thinking, I am never going to catch up. I am never going to catch up. How am I going to do this? And then I'm like, restart your Dragon Anywhere app, grab your headphones and get it done, girl. And so that's what I did. And in seriously, in 3 hours, let me peek at another group and then I will be able to give you a number. I was doing this in Love Kissed Coachables. I was posting my word counts and let's see where it is. Oh, okay. Bam. Okay. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprints. No, 6. I'm sorry, 6. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in like basically 15-minute increments. My first sprint was the smallest. It was 827 words. And then it went 858, 1187. That was the one I did the full 20 minutes because I didn't have any interruptions. It was magical. 833, 917, and 860. So over the course of 3 hours from 3 to 6, when Kenna had had her snack and I gave her a tablet, I managed to get down 5,482 words. I caught up days and days in there. Sunday morning, I did a cleanup and went from 5482 to 6454. And then so basically what I'm saying is that if you're willing to try new things, try 15-minute sprints, try some of these other opportunities that are available to you, like just doing little sprints. I am confident that you can you can hit whatever word goal you set. And it's okay if your word goal is only 1,000 words a day, 5 days a week. Okay. It is okay if your word goal is only 3,000 words a week. Your goal is your goal, and that's it. It's up to you. All right. I am not going to tell you that you need to drive yourself crazy to get it done. I'm not, because sanity is way more important than anything else. So so definitely just be open to trying new things. And today is figuring out your word count, and then play with some numbers. Play with some numbers because you need to have some numbers figured out for tomorrow so that you know either how many novellas you're planning on publishing, how many novels you're planning on publishing. So play with the word count. If you do 1,000 words a day, 365 days a year, that's 365,000 words. And what are you going to divide that up into? Are you going to make it, a combination of novellas and novels? Are you going to make it just novellas or just novels? Play with the numbers, figure out what you're going to do. And because I think that comes out to, pull up my handy dandy calculator app. So if you do 365,000 words in a year, divided by 60,000. All right, it's going to be like 6 novels a year that you're publishing. 6 novels a year is fantastic. So, I mean, do whatever you're comfortable with. Seriously, do whatever you're comfortable with. All right, but know how many novels novels or novellas you're going to do, because tomorrow is the publishing plan day. All right. So have a nice day. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them, and I will be happy to answer as best I can. And look forward to seeing any questions or comments. I'll be peeking in throughout the day. All right, take care. Bye.